Good morning, good morning, good morning. Listen, as I always say, if you can hear the sound of my voice on this happy Saturday, it is indeed a good morning. My name is Clint Paris, and you are live on In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star. And as always, I'm excited to be here, spending some time with you all today as we talk about the pressing issues of our society. Life is not a destination, it is a journey. And I would hope that everyone enjoys the journey. And as we go each week, you can't live life in one moment. It's each moment at a time. And sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and don't enjoy the moment that we're in. And the moment that we're in is tomorrow is Father's Day. It's our turn. And DJ CEO, I was looking at something online that said Father's Day is number 20 on the top day, holidays in the calendar. We're behind Halloween, which is not even real. We're behind a bunch of days, Flag Day, and I could go on and on. And then we also have coming up on Monday, we've got Juneteenth, which is really a serious, somber, and celebratory moment, I think, in America's history that we're slowly coming to grips with, particularly in the deep South. And whether you like it or not, things are different as we're finding out more and more. Things are still very different in the deep, and I like to use that word, deep South, than a lot of other parts of America. So this is a moment to celebrate, and hopefully you all will be doing things that get out in your community. I'm located in the Tampa community. And quickly, DJC, I want to put something up on the screen. If you're watching on live on Facebook or YouTube, I've got up the recent edition of In Touch News. You can go to intouchnews.com, and on that on our page you will see information regarding an upcoming Juneteenth event right here in Tampa. It's called the Tampa Bay Area Juneteenth Family Reunion 2023, and a lot of things start small, DJ CEO, and they get bigger because my man RJ Stevens, who was my engineer at one point in time here at the show, is one of the curators of this event. It is a great event. It's happening today, June 17th, out at the Tampa Raymond James Stadium on Northdale Mabry. Gates open at 2:30. Event kicks off at 3. Rock the Block, the culture, legacy, and community is what this event is. But it is just our event here. And I know wherever you are at right now, I bet your community is also celebrating Juneteenth and the freedom of the last slaves out in Texas. I want to say it was in Galveston, actually, where the Emancipation Proclamation was finally read there in 1865. So I just want to encourage everybody that you celebrate today's moment. And you've got Father's Day, you've got Juneteenth. And let me say this. Even if you do not go to some Juneteenth event, you don't go to some banquet or whatever, you don't want to be mixed up with the do-gooders and the hoity-toity, uppity folks in your community that think they're better than everybody else, and you just think that, well, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing and whatnot, but celebrate it and be proud of it. If you're listening to the show on intouchnews.com, you can go to our Facebook page, In Touch News Facebook, and our YouTube page, In Touch News on YouTube. I'm wearing my Juneteenth shirt. I got this shirt last year. It was a big deal last year. But I didn't just order the shirt. I'm like Witherspoon. You got to do the lapel. I also got me a flag, DJ CEO. I got a big flag. That'd be a big old flag. But the flag draping down, you can't get to my front door.
Is it red, white, and green, or is it a Juneteenth flag?
Hey man, I got a flag up, and my heart and spirit is in the.
I mean red, black, and green.
Yeah. My heart and my spirit is in the right place, and I'll show you a picture of it. Maybe you can you can educate me, because I'm still learning. I'm still learning about Juneteenth. It's crazy to think that.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that's a commercial flag. I'm glad to see you have it up.
In my neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I mean?
In your neighborhood.
In my neighborhood, you need restricted.
So has anybody shot through your window yet?
No, I don't think they want.
No crosses burning.
I don't think they want to rev that up. And let me say this: when Obama was running for office and Biden, I probably had 15 signs in my yard. I mean, I lit the whole yard with signs. Then I did this. I got a neighbor across the street, elderly white gentleman, 83 years old, ultra conservative.
Right.
I climbed on his roof and put my Obama sign on his put my Obama sign on his roof, knowing he can't get up there and get it down.
Oh my God.
But no, listen, it's all good, man. Anyway, let's jump on this phone line, see what's happening out there in the world today. Good morning, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. This is your guest, Adriana Clark.
Good morning. Good morning. Listen, I appreciate you giving us a call, Mrs. Clark. And I just want everybody to know, Mrs. Clark was scheduled to be our guest today, and she woke up and she's having a hard time with her voice, but she's got some important information. So I just want to spend a little bit of time talk with her about an upcoming symposium here in Tampa that is being placed on. It's part of the infrastructure bill passed. I think it was last year that it was passed, but. Adriana, tell us a little bit about the event and what is really going on with this symposium.
Sure, absolutely, and good morning to your audience. I think we've gotten so excited about what's coming to Tampa, Florida, that I've lost my voice. We're coming to Tampa next week,
Okay.
Thursday, June 22nd. We have a small business contracting summit. We're starting early in the morning, 8:30 a.m. at the Tampa airport. This is really an opportunity for small businesses to come out, have some face-to-face time, meet with those decision makers, both in the government, but as well as private industry. Many of the private industry, large companies who are actually building and restoring the nation's bridges, highways, roads, and infrastructure assets will be there to talk about some of their plans to begin to restore or continue to restore the nation's assets. And right here in Florida is where we're interested and where we're calling on our small businesses who have the capabilities to join us in this effort. I mean, listen, over $9 billion is on its way to Florida, and some of it is already here in the marketplace. And we simply do not want small businesses to miss this opportunity.
Outstanding. That is wonderful. You know, sometimes when people hear the word small business, you know, they may not think that they qualify or that they've not been in existence long enough or there are other qualifications. Do you have to be a registered or certified small business in any kind of way to attend this symposium?
So here's the thing. We do like for small businesses to register, to show up on government registries, and to be identified as being a vetted company, that someone has looked at your business and decided that your business or the owner has qualified for a certain state or federal certification. So it's always encouraged. It is always advantageous to do so. But here's the thing, you don't have to be certified to do business with the federal government. You just need to be registered. We need to know that you have the experience, that a business is going to do what it says it's going to do with taxpayers' dollars, and that is help us to restore the nation's infrastructure.
If somebody wanted to register for this event, how do they do that? How do they register or get on a list or gain access to more information?
At this point, we're going to ask everyone to head on over to Eventbrite. Our event is there. You can find us under a few different hashtags, mainly infrastructure or opportunities, small business or business owners. But find us on on Eventbrite. We are on LinkedIn as well. So there's a number of different avenues to get registered. Registration is closing on Monday. So we want everybody to have a sense of urgency. If you want to be there, and we want you there, we don't want businesses to miss this opportunity.
Outstanding. So if they go to Eventbrite, what exactly would they? Are there some keywords they would search or keywords they need to put in?
Yes, they are hashtag infrastructure, hashtags opportunities, hashtag small businesses, hashtag business owners, hashtag transportation. It should. I think we will have no problem finding it. Again, it's on Thursday, June 22nd at the Tampa airport.
You mentioned that the dollars, that there's $9 billion. Do you have an idea of the amount of that money, let's say, that may land in Central Florida as opposed to the entire state? Because, some small businesses, they're limiting their geographic reach. Do you have an idea of what amount of that's going to be in the Central Florida area per se?
Of that, all of the, I think what's more important in terms of the dollar amount where it's going to be is what are their goaling for small businesses. So if we have around $2 to $3 billion that's, let's say, concentrated in Central and West Florida, of that, what is the goal for our state and local entities, say our transit or our highway, our airports, our seaports? What portion of those billions of dollars are they setting aside, or that they are placing goals on, that they are using small businesses for that effort to be a part of that? So what I can say is that there are millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars on the table that are apportioned just for CEOs that are considered or designated as small and or minority-owned enterprises.
Wow, that's outstanding. One of the things I like to say is, government has no money. It only has our money. So that's our money that they're spending. So these small businesses, it's imperative that they be there because this is money that they've paid into the federal depository. It's our money being recirculated back out into the community. So it's imperative that I think small businesses seize these opportunities and know. When I went to work for a law firm when I first started practicing law, the firm manager said, "Listen, we survive when our government work. But we buy our beach condo on our private work. But to survive, we need government work, because they always you always pay your bills on time. Your check never bounces, and you're good about that. So getting government contract work is outstanding. I know we're on a short window, Mrs. Clark, with people getting registered and getting information. Let me ask you about: are there going to be other symposiums in the state of Florida that people may plug into? And is there a virtual component as well to this that they could plug into if they can't physically make this event?
I am so glad you asked of that, because if there's any apprehension about coming out to see us, the answer is yes. This event will be offered virtually. It is a hybrid event, so you can certainly plug into us and listen. You won't miss anything by plugging in virtually, because it is being live streamed, so it's real time, and you can be a part of it in the segments that are having Q&A. There will be an opportunity to ask questions if there is something, burning questions on your mind as you're listening to, because it really is a great deal of information. And to your point, we all are, as citizens and taxpayers, endowed by the $1.2 trillion passage of the infrastructure law. So we all endow those funds, and so we all are vested into how our nation continues to shore up its infrastructure and ensure the traveling public that it's safe to travel.
One of the things that I'm always shocked by doing this show is how fast time goes. And I know that you're doing a yeoman's effort, battling through with your voice this morning. I just have two quick remaining questions. Are there particular types of businesses when people that would mainly benefit from the infrastructure bill? Because when I hear infrastructure, I hear like construction almost, or building. Are there certain businesses that you think are prime for this, benefiting from this opportunity?
Absolutely. Another really great question to engage our listeners on. And the answer is yes, there certainly are and yes, construction related material suppliers are certainly a big part in terms of the trades. But we have other specializations out there. We have craftsmen and craftswomen that are doing such great work in other areas. For example, in terms of training, one good example comes to mind. We have a lot of truck drivers out there on the road that's opening up the supply chain and getting supplies to the marketplace. Mm-hmm. And we need training. We had some really novice truck drivers that are out there that can use some training in terms of how to keep safe out there on the road. We've heard about too many fatalities, not only across our state, but really across the nation. So we need some training. We need some folks out there that has that skill set to train truckers, ensuring that they're safe. So we have, from medical backgrounds to, just educators and trainers that has that knowledge and can get our drivers trained and get them comfortable out there on the road. A lot of compliance. When you have $1.2 trillion circulating in the marketplace, someone needs to even assist the government in ensuring compliance to federal laws and what the policy states. So those with that kind of expertise, we're looking for those folks. We're looking for electricians. This nation is undergoing a new somewhat of a new revolution with standing up electric vehicles, and so charging stations are being built, and so that infrastructure needs the support to not only to build them but to maintain them. And so we need electricians out there to help us with the wiring and charging of that type of infrastructure. So it's a whole host of other types of trades and skill sets that the department is looking for, and certainly, small businesses can help in that regard.
Outstanding. We're talking to Adriana Clark. She's with the Department of Transportation, and there is a symposium at the Tampa Airport on the 22nd, and you need to pre-register for this event, and you need to do so by Monday. Go to Eventbrite, hashtag infrastructure, and there was another one. It was another hashtag. What was it again, Mrs. Clark?
Hashtag small businesses, hashtag opportunities, and hashtag business owners.
Got
and
it.
hashtag transportation.
Got it. Outstanding. Well, we want to thank you so much for taking the time coming on. Hopefully this event is very, very, worthwhile, that a lot of people take advantage of it. And more importantly, we want you to take care of yourself. Go get some, my mom would say, go suck a lemon and sit down somewhere. Take it easy today. All right. You take care of yourself, and you're a friend of the show. Call back anytime, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, you take care. All right, y'all, that was Adriana Clark. Look, DJ CEO's over here sweating bullets, man. He wants to pay these bills. So, look, we're going to take this break, pop it back in, and let's talk about what's going down in politics of the day. In Touch News Radio, reality radio, everybody could be a star. We will be right back after this quick break.
Tell a friend to listen in. It's In Touch Radio, reality radio.
The Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity is hosting 3 fantastic parties in Tampa, Florida, and you can be a part of all the fun with their package ticket options. The package includes access to the Crimson Takeover Party at Armature Works, the Cream Jam All-White Party at the Aquarium, and the Culmination Ball at the JW Marriott. Limited tickets are available for purchase online at KappaConclave2023.com. Don't miss out on this exclusive opportunity to experience all 3 events.
We're playing your favorite old school. Today's R&B. With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
You've been injured. You deserve help from an attorney that knows how to handle your injury claim. This is Attorney Clinton Paris from the Law Office of Clinton Paris. For over a decade, I worked for insurance companies, and now I use that knowledge and experience to help people that have been injured. For a free consultation, call me, Attorney Clinton Paris, at 813-413-7924. That's 813-413-7924, or at parislawoffice.com. At the Law Office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being hurt. Offices, Riverview.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
All right, we're back live on Texas News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star. Listen, if you missed it, we just had on the show a regional director from the Department of Transportation talking about a Department of Transportation infrastructure bill symposium out at Tampa International Airport. Listen, this is if you run a small business, do not presume this does not apply to you. And I don't care what you do. Somebody's going to have to document the project at some point in time. Somebody's going to have to print materials for these projects when they go up. Somebody's going to have to do all the kinds of services that go with any type of construction, building, and this will be going on for years. I would assume, I can't even tell you, probably a 10, 15-year window in which businesses will be cycling through. And if you just because you don't pour cement or lay bricks doesn't mean it doesn't apply to you. So I want everybody to plug in. I'm gonna give a quick comment about something. The city we know as Atlanta was not the Atlanta that existed before Maynard Jackson used federal money to build an airport that he circulated through the Atlanta community and made more millionaires than any other project ever. Because he insisted on breaking that project up into small pieces that black businesses could do. And he churned, and Atlanta, it blew up in the 70s as that money kept rumbling around and being respent. So just keep that in mind. So these bills are really important, though. Listen, we got a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Is that the Professor Seabrook? Are you there?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I know you've been giddy all week. Just giddy all week, because last week we got to talk about, the Trump indictment and all that kind of good stuff. But we got this other thing that seems like it wants to get some legs, but it's not getting some legs regarding Joe Biden. They keep talking about Joe Biden got some money, and Joe Biden doesn't have any kind of business, but he's so wealthy, and there's some tapes and emails. I think somebody got a blood sample. I don't know. They keep saying these things. Yeah, but tell me, where are we going with this illusion that there's something to Joe Biden getting bribed to do something that we don't know what it was?
Oh man, come on! You guys know what's going on. You guys already know. You've had control of the media since 2016, and you continue to dictate the narrative. But I believe, as weak as these Republicans are, and that would be McCarthy. I mean, I'm not really down on McCarthy, but I don't know. The Republicans are still suspect in whether or not they have the backbone to do what Democrats would do to them if they're in the same situation. And we can, start with the whole Burisma thing. That was what they were trying to impeach Trump about when he was trying to find out from Zelensky. And, well, what was this whole thing with Biden and blah, blah, blah? And they were like, oh, he said something wrong, national security, impeach. And now we find out, well, we don't find out because we knew at the time we couldn't prove as much as they can prove now. We find out that, there in fact is $10 million. There are 17 recordings, 2 with the big guy, 15 with Hunter Biden. I mean, that's enough right there to really blow the lid off and plummet Joe Biden in the polls and the numbers for 2024. But once again, the Democrats are masters at dictating what they want to actually hit the headline.
Because I've not heard. So let's unpack some of that a little bit. Okay, so the initial allegation was that there was a 1023 document that starts this that was presented to the, I want to say the FBI for them to look at, and it never went anywhere. We start there, am I correct? It starts with that document, correct? Because I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, because that's the only thing I've heard that
I
there
don't know
is.
that what's another name for this 1023? What is that really called?
I don't know.
What's the?
Well,
Right.
It's a form filled out when you make an allegation to the FBI of wrongdoing by someone, and it's just a factual statement. It's basically a statement, and they start with that statement so that they are not just shooting in the dark trying to investigate something. And from that document, they then take a look and see, does this warrant an actual investigation? Okay.
Right.
Now, here's your problem with that document is it's not firsthand. The document...
It never is.
Well, it could be. No, it could be firsthand. But that document is, my understanding is, it is the document of a reliable FBI source recounting a story told to them by someone else about what the Bidens did.
Okay.
And that they're recording,
Let me
and
kind of
that
jump in
second
right
part,
there.
that's the best I got. Between press conferences, and that's all I got so far.
Well, I mean, the 1023. I mean, I did look up. I thought there was another name. I thought there was like a code name for it, but this whole confidential, there's a human sources type thing. But let me ask you this: is that what? Is it Dan Feinstein? Is that what they had on Kavanaugh, or someone came to them, but they didn't release the name because
Same thing.
1023, right?
Yep, same thing.
They seem to do a lot with that 1023 with Kavanaugh. That they can't seem to do anything with that 1023 with Joe Biden, who is the president of the free country.
And the reason they did more with it is they were asked to do more with it. They were told, give us more to try to give him more credibility. They wanted to remove those allegations from over his head if they could. See, you didn't see it that way. The way I saw it was they were trying to do Kavanaugh. They were trying to do Kavanaugh a favor. They were trying to help him out.
I'm not buying that.
It's kind of like the guy. That's all. He was trying to help Kavanaugh so that he wouldn't go through his whole career having to defend allegations. His whole career. So let's talk about this. So evidently there's an allegation that they're recordings. I think you mentioned those. Do we know who has the recordings?
Yeah, we know that the FBI has the recordings.
Right. Now the question is, what's in these alleged because my thought, I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, that the FBI is so compromised that if it had information on Joe Biden, it wouldn't even look into it.
The FBI is definitely compromised. I don't know where this whole wild on the fence about that. They've never done to a sitting or a once removed president, as in President Trump. They've never done this. And there's a bit of credence to this charge that I'm making with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He himself, they're trying to discredit him when he's talking about what's dear.
Okay. Listen, Tony, Professor. The man thinks. I think he's argued that the world is flat or something.
I don't know about all that.
You don't have to he's discredited himself. Listen, he's a kook. I'm just saying, when you're too out there for the Kennedy family, I mean, he is. So let me tell you, where's this thing going to go? What happened? What are the Republicans going to do next, or you think they should do, as it relates to these recordings?
Well, if Ted Cruz and Hawley, I think that's the Intel Committee, whoever that is, Senate, if they can actually press the FBI to do more than what they're doing, if they can keep them on the hot seat, and media coverage here, I think, is going to be the difference. This is not getting the same coverage that Trump got. I mean, when CNN was wall-to-wall tickets at the bottom of the screen, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow. I mean, if it got the same coverage that every incident with Trump, from the Zelensky call, from the whatever the other two impeachments were, if they got the same amount of publicity, we would see a big difference, and the Democrats would, in fact, be trying to do damage control, which they're really trying to do now. That's why this thing can't really grow enough legs.
Right. So,
and that's my issue with the Republicans.
All right,
they just don't seem to have the backbone.
Yeah, let's hold that thought. We're going to come back on the other side. Let the professor expound on these concerns he has for the welfare of the Republican Party. Listen, you listen to In Touch News Radio, Reality Radio. We'll be right back after this quick break.
I'm Angela Birdsong, and during the week, they call me the Medicare lady. I help people successfully transition onto Medicare, sometimes Medicaid. I also help people with life insurance, long-term care insurance, and annuities. Please do not try to navigate Medicare without me. It's complicated. 813-476-4837. Hi, it's Angela Birdsong, and I want to recommend highly that if you're an attorney, that you get a quote for errors and omissions insurance from Sam Cohen at Attorneys First. He's had over 20 years of experience, and he knows how to work with attorneys. Call him at 727-799-4321.
Are you ready to party like never before? The Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity is proud to offer our party package, giving you access to 3 of our most epic events. You'll get exclusive entry to our Crimson Takeover Party at Armature Works, featuring the hottest DJs and a night of non-stop dancing and fun. Then, get ready to put on your best white outfit for our Cream Jam All-White Party at the Aquarium, where you'll dance the night away surrounded by amazing marine life. Don't miss our culmination ball at the JW Marriott, where you'll enjoy a night of elegance and sophistication, featuring live performances and entertainment that you won't forget. This is the ultimate party package for anyone looking to experience the best of what Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity has to offer. You can pick up a package including access to all these events, but hurry. There's a limited supply of tickets available online at KappaConclave2023.com. Don't miss out on the party of the year. Get your party package today and get ready to dance the night away.
All right, we're back live on In Touch News Radio, Reality Radio. Everybody could be a star. Got the professor on the phone line here. I got so many things I want to talk about, but I'm just gonna throw this. It is the College World Series of softball is. I'm gonna throw your softball here. Let you just swing away at it, okay? Your thoughts when you heard about the transgender people at the White House going topless?
Exactly. You know what my thoughts were? Here we go again. They're trying to give this presidency away to Trump. You know how Trump, one of the biggest reasons he had the evangelical right in a headlock in 2016 or going into that was because he said stuff like, yep, there are 2 genders. And it's a simple statement, yeah, there are 2 genders. But, I mean, look at this at the White House. I mean, this is ridiculous where we are, and this is not about someone's expression to be who they are. And this is going afoul.
Yeah, but I blame Trump. I blame Trump for this. I'm going to tell you why.
I guess you would.
I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
Trump is such a degenerate that his mere presence in the White House has demeaned it, and so people don't respect the moments around the White House. That was a life-changing. Those folks made. I don't know about you. I've only been in the White House a couple of times, and I've never been there because somebody who lived there invited me. I stood in line and I went through a turnstile and that kind of thing, and but somebody invited these folks as you're on a list. You were invited. That you got an invitation that you could frame and put up somewhere. And these people sneak off in a corner like they're like the sophomore prom and go topless. I think that's because they look at Trump and go, well, I mean, everything's okay. Everything's
No,
okay.
Stop it. No.
Everything's okay. I mean, why can't we?
That's part of the problem. You know why? Because we have a weak, old, degenerate president in office who gets lost by himself. He couldn't do anything about it anyway. I mean, and Joe Biden is not really, and this is what I've said, almost in Joe Biden's defense, he's really not, this is not his idea. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, and I told DJ CEO when we're talking about some of these archive pages, we don't need archive pages to hear what Joe Biden said about African Americans and what he said about marriage and homosexual marriage. We don't need to really go to archive pages because it's on the internet. So his true statements are there. I mean, Joe Biden is a shell of himself. He just wants to have a good presidency. He's co-signing on this, but these are his handlers. These are the liberal folk that are bringing these ideas to Joe Biden, and he didn't have enough sense to go, this is not a good idea because he's not there. I mean, the guy is so diminished. It's unreal that Democrats don't even want to have a serious conversation about his mental faculties.
Because I don't know. Right. Well, that gets us nowhere. Because I'm not a professional.
What do you mean it gets us nowhere?
Let me say this. I'm gonna tell you why. Because voters decide who gets to be in office. That's voters.
Well,
so
that's not true.
Well, yeah, we do. And that's why, again, we're back to the Bigfoot hunters. I mean, think about this. There are actual real live TV shows of people out hunting Bigfoot. And then you've got this beef going on now. I don't know if you've run across one of the shows. You've got this ongoing beef now between the East Coast Bigfoot hunters and the West Coast Bigfoot hunters. With the West Coast Bigfoot hunters saying, who would ever believe that Bigfoot could live in Virginia? I mean, but the idea that all of y'all are looking for Bigfoot, this tells us where we are. I mean, that's kind of the rabbit hole that we go down with voting. Now, let me say, if you say to me this, or if you say this, that the idea of democracy as a true way of making decisions on leadership is a farce, then I would agree with that. But the election system that we have, it is putting the outcome, a legitimate outcome from that process. So just saying it, because if we got a problem with the election system, well, let me ask you this, Professor, how is it going to be any different this time around then? And if that's the case, what about the next time around? And so it would be easy for everybody. Hold on for a minute. And if we just assume that all elections are fraud, then why would anybody ever go and vote? It's very circular. So no, the election is not rigged. It is valid for what it produces as an outcome. You guys just didn't like the outcome.
So all the talk of when we talk about, and this was a big talking point, and it's really coming from your side, from you too, Counselor. When we talked about when President Trump was first elected, and you talked about what his demeanor was, how he was as a person, and how that's not really becoming of the office of the president.
He's undignified.
So when you separate the two, it is more than the person, it's the office of the presidency.
Correct.
And you're trying to tell me that we have a fair election system when we already know what the powers that be will do to a rich white guy who they don't like. Trump he's that much of he's not easy to do away with, and that's the issue that the powers that be have, and that's why I can't name anyone because they had to gang up on him. I mean, any other person would have been probably done away with by now, but Trump had the resilience to kind of get past. I mean, from the time he came down the escalator, I just never thought that you'd be witch hunting after a president. So before we got to this point, because we're using 2020, like I said, 2020 is hindsight is 2020. So we have the benefit of seeing what's happening now and kind of looking back. But starting in 2016, the way the media focused on him and what came out of those two impeachments was hardly nothing. The Mueller report, I mean, to get to where we are, and for you guys to not have hardly anything on this guy 6 years later, and he's still running again.
Wait, hold on. Listen. There are 2 criminal indictments. He's lost 1 liability trial. He's possibly got 2 more criminal indictments coming. What do you mean nothing against him? I mean, good
Well,
Lord.
here's the thing. Why is he still in the race? How is he?
Oh, I'm going to tell you. Listen, now you're on. Oh, Professor, you know how this works. And you should see the setup when it's coming. Listen, look. I was watching. Look,
So if he didn't
let me tell you something, man.
You're trying to tell me we'll still be here now? If he didn't run, if he said, I'm done, you're trying to tell me we would be here right now, that he'd still be after Trump? No way. I
would like to think that the criminal pieces would still they would be, but let me go to something else though. The Trump supporters, some of the stuff I'm actually shocked sometimes when you say to somebody, "Hey, does that criminal indictment matter?" No, they're just out to get Trump. Oh, okay. What about the lady saying that he sexually abused? Oh no, they're just out to get Trump. Oh, okay, got it. Okay. What about the constant lies he tells every day? Well, he's just being himself. These are excuses. Like, listen, this may be like if I wasn't living in the moment, you couldn't tell me that this person could have ever led the United States. Almost everything he does. I mean, and so the people that necessarily, it's one thing to be against the Democrats. It's something else for people to attach themselves to this guy. Look at what he just did this week, right? He goes into the restaurant, right? DJ CEO, you'll love this. He walks in and he says, hey,
I'm gonna pay.
Food on everybody, food on me. Let's go. Before anybody can order,
and then it didn't pay.
Before anybody pays for nothing. I mean, that's not Democrats doing that. That's not a Democrat.
Okay, but here's the thing. How does that even register in a political conversation? This is the pettiness that you have to go after him. Look what he did. Listen, it's as petty as somebody the other day saying, "How dare Joe Biden take a day off for a root canal?" It's as petty as that. Like, everybody takes a day off when you get a root canal. I'm impressed the man in his age still got it. Didn't say that.
Yeah, but other people, there are other folks that did though. That, hey, look,
they said the same thing of Trump. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Why is he playing golf?
Not nearly as much as Trump did. Good Lord,
not as much as Trump, but he did.
All right, so he did play some golf. Trump, on the other hand, played golf at his own golf courses, raised the rates for his own rooms, and then charged the Secret Service. I mean, come on. Listen, if I wasn't living in this moment, you could make this stuff up, Professor. You could not. In my watch, it's just there's no way.
If you write these charges down, even the lies. If you write these charges down and don't put a name, you can stick them to Joe Biden as well.
No, you cannot. No, wait. Where's the obstruction of justice for Joe Biden?
Has touched women inappropriately.
Stop that. He's a hair. The man likes the smell of hair. What are you talking about? Come on, man.
So that's not weird. If we're normalizing smelling little girls' hair, women, he don't even have a preference. He's an equal opportunity offender.
But no one's come out and said, listen, no one's come out and said he forced himself on them. Maybe he was a little friendly.
Okay, wasn't that in the diary?
We don't have criminal. We've got like dozens of women who've come out and said that Trump assaulted them, and he got his own tape. I mean, let's throw away what we think about. We have Trump's own tape saying, I think it's okay that you sexually assault women. And the Access Hollywood video is a battery. He's made it clear. This is how I roll. And so to defend that, but I don't want to get too deep into the woods. I wanted to explain to me, because I was trying to think this out myself. The LGBTQ plus community doesn't seem to be as big, but they seem to have a lot of influence in the Democratic Party. I don't know that they have that many voters. And it's just interesting the way that they're like with this whole White House situation, Pride Day.
Well, and I disagree. I do think they're a large bloc. And I've said this before with the immigration piece, they've been replacing the black vote anyway, because, the black vote is coming a little less reliable almost every election season, especially when you have Democrats like Joe Biden. The numbers falling. It's just been decreasing. So how do you boost that up? Yeah, you start bringing in illegals. Hey, you can vote. We can allow you to vote, and then you start grooming LGBT. You start, well, no, we want the kids. Just like Joe Biden said, these kids are kids. No, hell no, these kids aren't your kids. And the stuff that he's peddling, the stuff that you put on the White House lawn is indicative of what they actually think. They really believe that, and the LGBTQ plus whoever has a foothold, especially with this administration. And that's the concerning part for me, because I see that, and it's not just higher education, it is K through 12. At my grandson's school, I've seen that. I've seen the rainbow shirts and me ask me what. I mean, it's like you want to have that conversation with kids. And when you normalize that, of course you're going to grow your base. So they may not be big in numbers as what you may be alluding to, but they are trying to grow that number.
Well, I just think it just does not bode well for the Republicans if you have the level of ineptness that they talk about Biden as being. He is as corrupt and as he is, and compromised with all these things, and still they can't get him. See, I get right. That said, to me, it's more of an indictment of the Republican Party. All right, hey, Professor, I gotta take another break. Can you hang on for this last session?
Sure.
All right, let's take this last break here. Let DG CEO pay some bills. Come back on the other side. In Touch News Radio, reality radio, where everybody can be a star. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Tampa Bay Tammy. Don't forget to pick up your copy of In Touch News.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
You want to have some fun? Join the men, a Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity for our family outing in Tampa on July 22nd, 2023 at Riverfront Park, hosted by Nephew Tommy and Deanne King of WFLA Channel 8. We've got performances from BK Jackson, the Stomp Down Kappa Edition, and much more. We've got the best barbecue, soul food, and other food trucks from Tampa's finest. Tickets are on sale now at KappaConclave2023.com. Bring the family, bring your friends, and bring yourself, because we're going to have a good old time.
This is Attorney Clinton Paris. Accidents are beyond your control, but deciding who will represent you is your decision. If you've been injured, call me at the law office of Clinton Paris for a free consultation. 813-413-7924. Offices Riverview.
All right, we're back live with In Touch News Radio, reality radio. You're listening straight up the middle. Got the professor on the phone. Professor's been nice enough to come in and on by the phone the last couple of weeks and really add some balanced perspective here. And sometimes I forget, Professor, how much I enjoy hearing the other side bring things to the forefront. What is going to be this if so far the Republican strategy has not worked? Think about this. Allegedly, they have Hunter Biden's laptop. They've got all the information, and the Republican side, under a Republican president, could not move that forward. Under the Republican Attorney General, could not move that forward. Now we're alleging that they're trying to drum up these things where it directly connect to Joe Biden. I just don't have any confidence they ever get anywhere, and people end up saying, this is another Benghazi. This is another Hillary Clinton documents where Republicans don't turn it into anything that benefits them.
Well, it goes back to what my point is. If the Democrats had this, and if the Democrats had this, they would be doing more. But look who you just named, Hillary Clinton. Look at what she's done. And you're right, they couldn't do anything with that amount of evidence. No one was guessing, did she use bleach? Did she use a hammer? See, all these were definitive, yes, she did. And they still couldn't do anything. That, to me, shows either the lack of power, the lack of will. I don't know what it is, but it's why the Republican establishment can't peel off any MAGA Republicans, because they're just spineless. They just talk the game. Before you get back in, let me. You said that you think it's just going to be another Benghazi. They have this stuff, and who was Bill Barr could move it forward. I heard that, and I'm kind of, I don't know. I had good feelings about Bill Barr, but not so much now. But but here's the thing: no one could be any more disappointed than Democrats to see Adam Schiff promise. I have undeniable proof, and then you get these 20 Republicans that sided with Democrats not to censure him. I mean, Adam Schiff lied the whole time. He didn't have anything. Not one thing that he brings forward, all this thing he alleged he had. So Republicans are really doing the same thing, and they're in the same boat as Adam Schiff, if you want to be honest about it. They're talking a good game, but is it going to play out?
Well, that really is the big key. I think they're losing time. They would be better served getting legislation passed that impacted people's lives, and then they could claim
I want them to drag Joe Biden.
But they won't. It doesn't.
That
has listen. That has not worked. It's baked in. See, what people think of Joe Biden is what they think of Joe Biden, like they think of even Donald Trump. They think it. What you can change people on is, hey, we can govern. We can make a difference in your life. If you show people how you impact them personally, then you've got a better. But if your argument continues to be, which is the Democrats' argument, is our guy is not this other guy, and the other guy's a bad guy, that's how we won. We won by saying Donald Trump's a bad guy. I don't see why we wouldn't do that again. I mean, I vote for that. It resonates with people. It worked last time. So my question from the Republican side, if your argument is Joe Biden's old and incompetent, it didn't work last time, I don't think your argument this time should be Joe Biden's old and incompetent, because it won't work again unless you give them something new, and I don't know what the new is.
But here's the thing: Joe Biden wasn't president formally last time. Now we'll have 4 years at that point, or 3 years of direct footage of this stumbling guy falling down, looking lost. See, we didn't have that.
People don't care, though. People listen. They don't care.
You think so?
Here's what they care about. I know. No, I'm gonna tell you what I care about. I think it was. It may have been Tampa Bay Tammy. I think she said whipped cream was $8, and I heard a collective sigh. I think that's what she said. Everybody was like, "Wait a minute, whipped cream and what?" I mean, that's what I think. The inflation argument, the prices, the economy. I think that's the better argument for Republicans. Not that Joe Biden's an old, incompetent white guy that's stealing money. I mean, that's not an argument.
All that's going to come out too. But here's another thing. And so we're talking about what I'm going to summarize this, because you're saying what's going to be the playbook for Republicans in 2024.
Correct.
They have footage of now Joe Biden he is the guy.
They don't have any footage. They don't have any footage. They don't have.
I'm saying he is president, so we know how he governs, and to you guys he's great, to Republicans, and I think to most people, because he's not really. The last poll I saw, now it was a Newsmax poll, so forgive me. I know it's right leaning. Trump was beaten by 6 points. That's why.
Here's another. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Professor. He's beaten by 6 points.
So that's why they have to keep coming up with these indictments, because it's like, man, if they could just hit Trump one time and he would fall, they wouldn't be still pressing. We don't still kick people while they're down. No, we don't. And people won't really stand for it. If Trump wasn't a threat, if he had no chance, and if he was polling like Chris Christie or Tim Scott, if he was polling like them, then they wouldn't bring this guy up.
Let me tell you the strategy right now. We are using Donald Trump, because we can beat Donald Trump. The Democrats are confident we can beat Donald Trump. We're using Donald Trump. We're using Donald Trump to suppress other Republicans that might otherwise be more presentable. That really, Nikki Haley is one. Definitely DeSantis could get it going. But we'd be more presentable and acceptable to America to lead it than Donald Trump would be. And now people have to think about, but we're going to use Donald Trump because no Republican can get any face time, any media, because Trump is sucking up all the air. That's one component. I don't know if you were listening to the first part of the show, Professor, but we had on with us Mrs. Clark from the Department of Transportation. And the infrastructure bill is starting to roll out, which means checks are going to start hitting people in the pocket. And businesses are going to start to churn that in their local community. And when they do, you know who's going to get credit for that? Joe Biden. Joe Biden's infrastructure bill, $9 billion or whatever, quadrillion dollars or whatever it is, it's starting to roll out. That's where the Republicans are going to have their problems at, because on the governing side, Joe Biden has got so many things passed. Even most recently, when we're dealing with the debt ceiling, old, incompetent, sleepy Joe outmaneuvered the Republicans again. And so their arguments about governing are really, I think, the problem that they're missing, because
those are Democrat strong points. I don't agree with that, Counselor. I disagree with everything you just said.
Hey, listen,
McCarthy played a good game. He pushed the spending. They can't increase any spending until 2024, right? Until after 2024. They can do what they need to do, but in that bill, Biden can't increase any spending after 2024.
He's not trying to. But he's not trying to increase his spending.
He spent enough, like you said. He spent enough. They stopped him. They stopped him. Now let's talk about this $9 billion. And I did hear the first part. I actually messaged because I did do a search on infrastructure. I have an and as a small business, you should definitely be registered for this, because they're going to be some soft pieces. Go ahead. Well, there'll be some soft pieces, but here's the thing. It sounds good until you find out that they have pass-throughs, and the same old people that bid at the TPA, that bid on contracts, the same old companies getting it. That's always been the issue. See, it sounds good. Oh, man, all these small businesses, you got to get some money. As soon as you show up, you recognize, wait a minute, that guy used to work for this company, different email address, but now it's a pass-through company, going back to the same companies that did it. So forgive me if I'm not so excited about this same way that you pass money through to the small guy, because it's really not as great as people make it seem to be.
But it's better than nothing, and I'll take that. I'm not one that I don't need for the sun to shine all hours of all days, but when it does shine, I'm going to enjoy. So it's better than nothing, and it's going to hit the economy. Listen, I'm getting the rap sign from DJ CEO. Any closing comments, Professor?
Hey, look, we're going to see what comes out of this. I heard Trump made a dumb remark about some sensitive information that he had. I heard his lawyer trying to bail him out. I'm just hoping, they can muzzle him long enough to get this drop, since it is one of his appointed judges.
Wow.
I'm hoping something goes afoul there.
Well, I am in
my
head, I'm hoping the judge doesn't matter, and that he gets a fair opportunity to present whatever he has to argue, and that when it's all said and done, that whatever happens to him does not damage the image of our presidency any more than it already is. And that's something and I would hope I would love to see if this thing is still ongoing after Joe Biden wins, I would love to see Joe Biden come out and pardon him to put this to bed. And that way we don't have to deal with that. So, all right, Professor, appreciate you calling in. As always, man, it's wonderful to hear from you. And let's keep the conversation going, okay?
All right.
Listen, I want to thank the professor again. Thank Mrs. Clark for coming in from Department of Transportation. Look, you need to register for that symposium. Let me say, I can guarantee you one way that you won't be able to get any benefits, and that is if you don't even show up and participate. Go to Eventbrite. It's #infrastructure, #small business opportunity. Go on there, take a look at it, register. I think there's a virtual opportunity to watch and see. We need to be at the table if we want to, get something to eat. Or if you just wait around for the crumbs, well, guess what? You can always get crumbs. Listen, otherwise, I want everybody to enjoy your Juneteenth weekend, enjoy Father's Day, but most of all, be safe, happy, and healthy, and we'll see you back here again next week. Bye-bye.